So now I'm going to go into the second part now, angry driving. The 5 causes. We found that by far the biggest cause of angry driving, again, angry driving being when somebody's screaming, obscene gestures, flicking the headlights up and down, retaliating by cutting them off, slamming their brakes on because you're tailgating, or just making facial expressions towards the person, screaming at them. Somebody's even thrown things. They were throwing a Coca-Cola at somebody, throw something out the window at them. This has been done. By far the biggest cause, beyond all the others, is endangerment. If somebody feels endangered. Now, endangerment activity, if somebody's cut you off, that's a big one of the biggest ones. Tailgating. People go into a rage, and they tend to take this personally. It wasn't just some accident or stupidity. Personally, you tried to kill me, or you endangered my child or my spouse or my loved ones. And you can have some of the nicest people that you could meet and then put them in that situation, and they can go into a rage. And we're going to go into the dynamics a little bit later. Walt Disney captured this in 1951 when he had, I think it was Goofy, driving a car. Nice. It was a model citizen, and then you saw him turn into a demon when he was behind the wheel. So people already knew about this. Now, the history of this goes way back. The first recorded incident that we know of, it was in a fiction, the Oedipus story. And this goes back to ancient Greece. So it must have been an issue even back then. 2 chariots were coming towards each other on a road, and neither one would get out of the way. One was a king, and the other also was a prince from another kingdom. Neither one would stop. Oedipus got out of his chariot and killed the people in the other chariot, one of which turned out to be his father, which was unknown at that time, but that's part of the story. But it was a road rage incident in ancient Greece. So the roots go way back whenever you had people on whatever, there's been a road and vehicles, you had road rage. Now, a second, now these are not in order. The main one is endangerment. Now, if somebody's slowing you down, particularly if you're in a rush to get from point A to B and a person's going slow, it's made worse if you're really in a rush. It's also worse if it's a hot day. People are already heated. It makes all of these worse. If somebody's going through emotional strain financially or in a relationship, somebody just lost a job. There are people who wouldn't have done this, but then people have killed in a road rage incident because they just lost their job. It lowered the threshold to overreacting. Well, now, being slowed down is one of them. Why don't you just speed up and they get angry with the person, beep the horn, whatever. Another one is somebody's anger directed at you. So this person's flipping you off, making obscene gestures, beeping the horn. You don't know what you did, or you did know what you did, and you're sorry about it, but you feel it doesn't justify this kind of rudeness and discourtesy towards you, disrespect. That could set off an angry response against them. It could set off a fury against the person. That's a cause of angry driving. Now, you have some people who feel like they're self-appointed teachers. It's pretty common also. Somebody, say, goes through a light. Somebody sees that and feels, well, I'm a citizen. I'm going to catch up to you and say, hey, you went through that light. You made a mistake. You did the wrong thing. And so the person's screaming at them or beeping at them or whatever, trying to teach them a lesson. Of course, in doing that, they could distract. One of the dangers of angry driving is, say you beep your horn, the person turns around, other people turn around, you could have a collision. We don't know what percentage of the people are due to distraction of this sort, but definitely it's an unsafe thing to happen. So somebody's breaking the law, breaking the rules of the road, can trigger off an angry driving reaction. The one that can probably, if I had to pick a second one that lead to the most violent reaction, is somebody taking your parking spot. You're waiting for somebody to pull out. You're waiting patiently. Person pulls out and goes. And before you can get in, somebody lurches and choom, runs right in there. That's if I had to pick the second greatest cause of violence, of angry driving, would be, I believe that would be second. But I know for certain in our research that endangerment's number one. Somebody taking your parking spot. And it doesn't even matter if it's Christmas. It could be Christmas, the time of good cheer and peace towards all men. They still want to get out of the car and beat somebody up over this at Christmas time. You know, we interviewed 1,500 people in America, 1,500 Americans, both here in Southern California and in Oregon. And we found that 53% of the people say that they show angry driving on the road. We're not saying, by angry driving, we're talking expressing it towards another driver. We're not talking about road frustration where you're mumbling to yourself, where you're getting negative thoughts. We're talking where the person's showing it. Obscene gestures, screaming, flicking headlights up and down, tailgating because you're angry, or cutting the person off, retaliation. Actually showing it in one way or another. 53%. And on the average, we found that people show it 27 times per year on the average. Some will make it 500, some maybe 2. But we define angry driving where they had at least 2 or more per year where they're expressing their anger on the road. So that's 27 times on the average. So when you look at how many cars are on the road, we're looking at literally several billion episodes of angry driving on the roads in America today. A hostile environment. Now, we want to look at what predisposes us towards doing this, even nice people. What is the answer to that? We'll get to that in our next section.